Hello, 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 everyone. It's Kim from K&RP here in rainy southeastern Manitoba. It's been raining since I got up this morning. It is currently 17 degrees Celsius, which means it's 60 degrees Fahrenheit. We have a quality warning out. It's a 10 plus out there, which is really weird. With all the rain, you would think it would help dissipate the smoke, but it is not. Anyway, I'm in my happy place, messy desk. It is a little bit cleaner than normal, but it still has stuff everywhere. It's just the way life goes. So I did finish off these little taggy things that I did on the paint chip tops. I used some of the acrylic inks and I did some embellishments like on the butterflies, did some doodles, and I used some of I think it's a bronze, to do some highlighting and decorating on. So even though I thought these would turn out to be tickets, they're just clusters. Mind you, tickets are just clusters, right? Hey, Jan, good morning. Honey, it's great to see you. Did you get my message about me using you as a test run? So I did that yesterday. Plus, I went on a crazy doodle binge and I did about 100 stick people. You didn't get that message? It's in Messenger. I said it's almost like a book that I sent to you. Anyway, what's going to happen is I found a place, or I've had an ad for a place that's cheaper for sending parcels than Canada Post. And so I was going to use you as a test run and send you 100 pages of, I don't know what, from magazines and that kind of thing. Because I want to see what delivery time's like. I want to make sure that it is indeed cheaper than Canada Post. And anyway, just, I just figured that you would be the only one I really know that would be happy to get whack loads of, okay, just odd papers. So I did 100 little stick people. Some of them I put wings on, so they like little fairies. I had a blast. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but they're just new Kimbits that are going to go into the pile. I was just using up stuff, right? So I have 100 stick people that I did, 100 plus. Today, I had an idea of using up scrap paper. I know. Hi, Janet. Welcome. So I end up with L-shaped pieces of scrap paper so often because I just lob hunks out, right? So I have an idea for using my L-shaped pieces of paper. I pulled out my cutter and I'm just going to straighten it out just a little bit, like take off this white edge at the bottom. And because it's not straight on the sides, I'm going to see if I can straighten that out a little bit too. How are you doing, Janet? Is it raining there too? So I'm going to fold this piece up and I'm going to make sure that edge is flush because I did cut that edge straight. I believe I cut that edge straight. I'm just going to trim off, hopefully not cutting the fold. I didn't cut the fold. Okay, so I have a nice L-shaped piece of paper. We are going to be using this again. No, it isn't raining. Oh, okay. It's raining here. We've needed it though. So what I want to do is turn this into like a tuck spot plus. So I'm going to fold this up like this. And then I'm going to take a pair of scissors and go maybe an inch up to the far corner like this. So I've got these two, and I'm going to glue that down so that it's two little pockets. Okay, maybe this has to go away. It needs to get out of my way. So I'm going to put glue down here and down here. So I've got a little pocket. I'm not sure how wide this is. I didn't measure. I'm just using what I've got, right? Just tidied up some of my scrap bits. Oh, I should have put black on that edge, and I did not. That's okay. Then I'm going to take this other piece that I cut off here, and I'm going to put it here, so I'll have two tuck spots. Janet, have you heard of that place called Sendle? It's supposed to be cheaper than Canada Post for sending parcels out. I'm going to experiment with it, and I'm going to send Jan 100 pages of, hey, Sherry, welcome, odd book pages. I want to see what the shipping costs are like and how long it takes to get to her. So now I have this that has two pockets. We've got one here and this one, this little tucky corner spot. Yeah, I'm going to test it out. I'm going to send her 100 pages of various magazines and books and whatever. She's probably not going to want all of them, but she'll be able to paint on them, etc., right? Which is a good thing. So, yeah. So as I say, I should have blackened these edges so that you could see where they are, but I will doodle along them. Then I'm going to take this and I am going to fold it against that pocket thing like this. I'm going to try and do it as straight as possible. Ah, I was better off the first time. So now this we could put into a journal. Let's just take a blank piece of paper so I can show you. So it can go along the side of your book, almost like a tuck. So you've got this pocket, and then you've got this. So I haven't decided if I want it to just be loose like this, if I want to actually take it and put it in a pocket. I'm going to leave it like this, but this is what I've decided I want to do with my L-shaped bits of paper. So let's find another one. Let's find it. You know, when I'm looking through this, I usually find them without a problem because I've got so many of them. Well, this is not an L-shaped piece of paper, but I'm going to turn it into an L-shaped piece of paper and do that with it because it's kind of the same shape. Yeah, it's called Sendle, Sendle, and I looked into the Jan had found on Canada Post where you could buy envelopes, pre-stamped envelopes or whatever, and it takes up to so much weight. Say the envelope will take 1.1 pounds. But if I send it to the West, it's $19 to send to the West, not $16 or $19. And if I send it to the East, it's well over 20. Yeah, they're really expensive. That shipping's really still expensive. So on Sendle, for the same size envelope, I can send it. Flat rate for them was about $9. So I'm going to see if it is indeed $9, what the fuel surcharge and taxes on it are, and see if I can actually send packages out cheaper. And you don't have to have an account with them. They'll pick up at my door. So anyway, I'm hoping that this is going to be a new way of getting stuff out there because I've got stacks of books and magazines that I could break down, and maybe it'll be cheaper shipping for us than always, like I don't want to take business from our friends in the US, but you know, it would be nice if us Canadians got a break on some sort of shipping too. So I'm going to trim this off. It was like a file folder thing. And I want this to be an L. So I'm going to cut it along here. So I've got my L. I have to make this more square. I can put that back in the bin. So if I'm using it, I'm going to fold it. It would be a very nice break on our shipping. I don't know if they take like parcels. I have to look into it more. Like I just gave it a cursory glance. Hey, Roll, welcome. So again, I've got this L. This is a piece of painty paper that got stuck to the gel plate. So it's got some, but it's okay. So I'm going to fold this one up like this. That does not look straight, but that's okay. That's okay. We will fix that in a minute. And this is going to be the pocket side. So I'm going to cut it and it's going to get rid of a whole bunch of that ugly stuff. Talk good much me. Woohoo! From the side up to the corner. It's not very straight. I could wobble cut it. Probably be better than going that length trying to do it straight. How you doing today, Roll? And that's going to go on there so that I've got the two tuck spots. And then this one is going to move the cutter. I'm just trying to use up my L-shaped scrapped papers. That's not straight. I'm going to try and straighten that. Not sure if that's straight, but it's better. So then this is going to be the first tuck. Let's put the black on because I forgot to put the black on the last one. I just want to blacken these edges. So I'm just using that smelly old marker. You having a good day, Roll? Glue these. Fold it up and make a pocket. These aren't anything new. They really aren't. I'll have to come in and do some doodling on here because there's paint on it, but that's okay. It is just fine. Then I'm going to put this as the small tuck on the front. Why do I have a fruit fly down here? Weird. You've been traveling? Oh my. Well, at least you're getting out and doing something. That's always nice. We've got a 10 plus smoke here today, so I have not been out walking doing much of anything. So again, I have two pockets, one at the back, one at the front. Then I am going to fold this in. Oh, this isn't glued down nice and tight yet. Get it moved. Going to fold this over. And again, I can either tuck it in a pocket, I can put it over a journal page. Let's glue this bit of loose stuff down. You miss your bed? Yeah. There's something about your own bed, right? That it's nice to get away and see places, but your own bed is really important. Were you visiting family or just sightseeing? So again, I can embellish this with doodles, whatever I like. So that's the second one done. You know, if I folded it the other way and did it like a hidden paper clip, that could be kind of fun too. We'll see how these evolve. Right now, I just want to make a bunch of these with whatever L-shaped papers I find. This one is very, very thin. It's just brown paper, but we'll see what happens because I can. I think this was one of the prompts or something. Kind of looks like a prompt I did in my group, but I don't know. Okay, so I want to take as much of the brown off as possible, so I'm just going to cut it here. I'm putting that in the garbage. So now that that's the straight edge, I can put it on here and trim this side nice. And we got to do something with that top. So it's got to go on this side because that's the straight edge. Let's take it all the way down to where it's not ripped. And that side, obviously, too, is not straight. These cutters are wonderful things. And you know that I'm not often really picky about how straight my edges are, but sometimes I do like to have them straight. So we're going to fold that up. And that's not too bad straight wise. Cut her away. This one will get folded over. So now with this, again, I am going to take my scissors and cut this. Now, before I put this one together, because it's so thin, I'm going to add just a little bit of additional paper for stability. It's not big enough. Hey, Shaz, welcome. Nice to see you. How are you doing? I'm using up painty papers, or I'm trying to use up painty papers. You know how that goes. Because I have such a bad habit of just lopping hunks out of my papers, I have a lot of L-shaped scrap. I thought I had more than I do, but I don't, but that's okay. So I'm using up what I've got, and I'm making little tuck things. So it was L-shaped. So I folded it up. I cut it at an angle, made 2 pockets out of it, folded that over so I could use it on the edge of a page or put it in a pocket. Haven't decided exactly what I'm doing with them. This one is really, really thin brown paper, so I just wanted to make sure that the pocket had some additional stability. Those would be so much cuter if I wobble cut them. And I'm going to glue this one down as well because it's going to be a little tuck. Inktober? I might. I have been doodling. I have been practicing how to do flourishes. But I haven't really Um, it's Inktober. He lost his K. And what it is 100 days, or it's the full month, and they give you a prompt for drawing with ink. So I'm going to cut this along the edge. You know what? It would probably be much better if I had glasses on. Goodness. And again, they're not exactly straight. You know how I roll. There, they've got a bit of stability. Let's ink the edge. We will see how my October is lining up. So far, I don't have any plans. Well, let's clean the glue off this. Yeah, they have lovely prompt lists. Wasn't it one year Dee Dee did monsters? Not sure. I was kind of hoping that in October I would do a Throwback Thursday stream using my old craft magazines. That we could find a project and work on it together, kind of thing. Dee Dee streams on Thursdays and Mondays. Janet Young also does the scavenger hunt that I have done a few years, 2 years I've done. Um, she puts that out on New Year's Eve at the New Year's Hop. So again, I've got this cute little piece that I can put over the edge of a page into a journal or tuck it into a pocket. And it's got two little pockets in it, one at the back and one here. Nice little tuck spots. You're doing Zentangles for Inktober? Awesome, Teresa. I might do more elaborate stick people or fairies or something. I don't know. Zentangles would be fun too, though. Okay, so that's another one done. This bottom edge needs just a little bit of a trim. Don't want to cut the pocket part. But it does need just a smidge, just an absolute smidge off. We'll see how well I can do this. There. Jan did the monsters? Okay. So that's number 3. I'm just finding my L-shaped things to try and thin down some of the scrap bits I've got. I've been better about taking off more than just the L's lately. Not finding, when I'm looking for something, I find all these L-shaped pieces of paper. So I thought that this would be a good thing to do today. And I'm not finding any now. So I've done 3. Yay, go me. Okay, that's that box. Let's look in this box. This is just, no, that's all tissue paper. What about this box? I've got like 4 or 5 boxes beside, and these are napkins. Well, okay, that's it. I had 3 pieces. 3 lovely pieces that I did this with. Guess we're going to have to find something else to do. Yay, those are done though. How about let's make some paper buttons? On Sunday, when I was doing these ticket things, Beth asked if I had paper buttons, and I really don't have very many paper buttons. So let's just grab a couple of pieces of paper and make buttons. Because I've got so much scrap. I really have to thin it out. Okay. So these are really thin pieces of paper. I really do like the buttons to have a little bit more substance. So I'm going to glue this one down onto here. And I'm not going to use a hole punch. We're going to freehand wobble cut some paper buttons. So they're going to be very interesting buttons. Oh, look, an L-shaped piece of paper, but it's white, so I'm not going to count that. This one is cardstock, so it's heavy enough. And this one is paper, but I'm just going to lop off a piece because I don't need that many paper buttons in this color. So again, I'm going to glue this down onto another piece of paper. You know, if you're going to be using them to wrap yarn around for a fixture, a closure, or whatever, please put them on something heavier. This is good for a little bit of decor if you're just doing little things, but if you're using it for closures, etc., definitely put it onto like a piece of cereal box or some other heavier material that can withstand being used for that. '38°C. Nice. That's a little bit warm for me. In fact, it's a whole lot warm for me. It is only 62°C here today. No, 62 Fahrenheit. I lied. 17°C. Kim's confused. No problem. Okay, we'll use these for some paper buttons. What am I going to use for circles? I've got all kinds of glasses. Look, I've got this big plastic button that I could definitely take shapes from. I'm going to use on here. And then I can also mark where the holes are going to go. And of course, I'm going to draw it on the wrong side because if I drew it on the right side and I was cutting, I might leave the marks. Hey, Barbara, welcome, welcome. I'm just using up scrap papers as, because I can. I think I want to do one big one here because I think a big paper button would be a lot of fun. What do I want to use? Got all these cups. Are you bigger? That's bigger. I'm going to use that. '17 and overcast, 17 and raining here with a 10 plus. 31. Oh, we had the 30s the last couple of days. So as I say, I am just drawing freehand. Well, I'm not drawing freehand, but I will be cutting freehand, which is okay. And when you do buttons, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll run some thread through the holes and tie it so that it looks like a button. This fits. This fits the bottom of a plastic shot glass. Huh. Can I get two of you? Maybe, maybe. Whoop. Nope, can't get two. Okay, let's put the cap on the glue. How are you, Barbara? Oh, I did do these. I think these will fit in here. So I'm just tracing out so I can do some paper buttons. So they're going to be almost round, even though I'm tracing circles. My hand cutting isn't the greatest. I was telling Jan I'm going to be using her for doing a test run of a new shipping company that I found in Canada. It's supposed to be cheaper than Canada Post by about $12 a package. So I'm going to see exactly what it's going to cost me to ship Jan some strange items. So I'm just making paper buttons. I made some little pockets. Where did I put them? Huh. You would think that I would have put them someplace like right handy so I could show them. There they are. Oh goodness. So because I have so much L-shaped stuff, I turned them into little things that could go over the edge of pages or into pockets. Just little things to add to journals. This is going in the garbage. Woo! I have 3 buttons. You're not totally round. But they're fun. Right? Right. Oh, this one took the whole edge off, so I'm gonna no. I'm gonna have to find something else and draw that one. Mind you, I guess I could have a button kind of hanging over the edge of a page, cut it flush with the page like I do my flowers. Smoked salmon. I don't smoke. Well, we used to smoke fish when we had a cottage, but we don't smoke fish anymore. Now we smoke chicken and pork more often than anything else. Did another big batch of tomato soup. And I've been making bruschetta for breakfast because I've got so many smaller tomatoes. They're not quite, well, some of them are cherry tomatoes, but some of them, um, a lot of my Roma tomatoes just stayed really small and ripened. Not sure why, but they still make wonderful Wonderful. What are they called? For bruschetta. And I could throw them in the pans for soup, but I have made. Nice. Guess I have to do two of these size. The nice thing about paper buttons is you only have to throw one on a page, and it adds that little bit of interest. I was showing them, I went a little crazy yesterday. I made a whack load of stick people, stick ladies, because they're all in dresses, because it was easier to draw, use up paint and draw dress things than, maybe I could have just left that there flat piece on because the side of this button is kind of flat. No, I don't do green tomatoes. I don't think of it very often. I don't think of it at all, actually. There. My cucumbers are just finally starting to come. Things are just, I guess maybe I planted late this year because it was so wet at the beginning of the year. Or cold. Anyway, I didn't plant until late, so my tomatoes are just now coming nicely. And where's my smushy stuff? It used to be right there. It's right here. It's just a little to the left. I feel like I'm singing that song from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Time Warp, that's the song. Okay, needle. You were told not to eat green tomatoes? So, I'm going to roughly put this button in the center and poke the holes. Oh, wouldn't these be cute with that little embroidery stitching in them? I don't know if I've got one here. Yes. On these buttons, if you can see, maybe. Okay. I did just like 3 of the holes with green embroidery floss and then a French knot in the last hole. So it looks like a little flower. That could be kind of fun to do on these buttons. I might do that. We'll see. We'll see. Roughly center this. Yeah. Well, the reason I'm doing it is because when I was playing with these paper tickets on Sunday, Beth asked if I had paper buttons. And all I've got are turquoise. These would still be too big to put on those tickets anyway. No, don't eat green potatoes. There's a meat market in local city that does double stuffed baked potatoes with jalapenos, and that turned into a real summer favorite for us. I could just throw them in the air fryer and reheat them. So I had to break down and make my own. Oh, they are so good. And it's a meal, right? Double stuffed baked potato has cheese and cream cheese and green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to put these ones in. I had a template for putting holes in. So I'm going to kind of just center it in this, flip it over, and do the holes that way. And I'm doing the 4 holes in them, not necessarily because I'm going to do that embroidery in them, but because, why? I like the X, having the X instead of just the bar of stitching across. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys being here, watching me try and use up my scraps. My goodness, have I got scraps. And the silly thing is because I lop a hunk off, then I have half sheets. And like, what's wrong with using up what I've got instead of, I don't know. You grew up eating green tomatoes? It could be a southern thing, green tomatoes. There was that movie, Fried Green Tomatoes. And I've always wanted to try them. Oh, this is just a small one. Those holes won't fit. So I'm just going to guesstimate. You know what? That works too. Okay. So let's find something to do some stitching with for them. And then they'll be done. They can go in the envelope. How about I waxed some crochet cotton in blue. So I'm going to use that on one of these blue ones. Yeah, I don't eat. Okay. Which button? This one? It does. I could fill it with all kinds of wonderful things. I could fill it with glitter glue or something. So as I say, when I was binding this book, they said to use waxed thread, waxed cotton, and I didn't. I just used waxed linen. I didn't have it. I've got lots of crochet cotton. So I was wondering how to wax it, and they're saying beeswax. Well, the beeswax definitely works so much better. I had to try all different kinds of wax because that's the way I am. So I used crayon. It's definitely not stiff, but it sure colored it nicely. A scribble side? I don't know what you mean by a scribble side. I don't know what you mean. Sort of like a stamp kind of idea? That if I dipped it in ink. Oh, I know what you mean. Um, a rubbing. I probably could. Let's try it. I have a crayon. I'm just right here because this is the one I ran the thread through. Let's take a piece of that scrap paper I was just using. Oh, yeah. Oh, look. Look how lovely that is. Well, it moved, but I could. I love doing. I've got a whole bunch of. I just used the word, rubbings. I've got a bunch of rubbings. I do the bottoms of glass plates and things. Exactly. Well, because it's slid, I can't, but definitely will have to do that. I bet you if I put that on a gel plate too, I could use it like a stamp. Another thing going to have to try. Great idea. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of wonky, but I could definitely cut out the inside of it. I won't have the outer edge, but I could definitely cut out the inside. Yeah, rubbing. That's it. Okay, so we're going to try and thread this needle because I can't sew without a needle. Let's see if I run it through the wax, if it'll hold together better. Yeah, one of a kind. I have lots of one of a kind things. I think most of my stuff is one of a kind. So I like to do the knot on top. The reason being is if it's underneath, it adds too much bulk. I guess I don't have to tie it. And then the thread's coming from underneath. We'll see. Let's just do the X. We'll start at the bottom. Up through the hole. And I want a long tail so that when it's glued down, you see the thread. And I could do it in a square or I could do it catty corner. Kitty corner. I'm going to do kitty corner because I like kitty corner. Well, I was going to do that on the blue one so that you could see the thread better. So I'm going to leave it like this. And I'm going to cut it here so that I've got the dangly strings. And I'm going to consider that done. I can come back and do like black so it's got a lip. Looks like it has a lip. Now let's do this blue one. This one I will do a square in if I have enough thread. We'll see. We will see. Oh, I split the thread. Ugh, hate when I do that. That just made a big mess. So I just did the square stitching. Still a button. I can use them for dolls for eyes. See if I can still do an X as well. Just enough thread to do the X. So it almost looks like a barn door. So I'm just going to leave it like that. That's 2 buttons done. Let's grab some more crochet cotton. What have I got? I've got beige, I've got green. Let's use the green. Now I've got this beige. And I have crayons. So I can color this any color I want because I have crayons. I've got so much of this stuff. I'm so glad that I can color it easily like that. And I know that a lot of people paint it, but it takes a while to dry. That'd be cool, Raul. This is a variegated green. Yep. Yep. How about if I get like a nice pink crayon and do some in pink for that? Dragging you guys into my crazy world again here. Grandkids decided that they were tired of coloring. Well, they're old now, so I've had this box of crayons for quite a while. Here's a nice pink. Let's try this one. We'll see what happens when I run it through that color. Okay. Okay, so the needle's threaded. It's green and beige. Let's use it on this blue. I'm just going to do a regular X on this one. Of course, you can go through the holes more than once, give it that little bit thicker. Well, I know why I wanted to know what kind of wax to use, because my thread on the spool tangles so badly. See, I knew there was a reason. Oh, I didn't leave much. Let's pull that back a bit because I didn't leave very long a string. I like it longer. Because when I put it down, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put a bead or something on the bottoms of the strings, a little bit of interest, some sort of a dangle, or I take hole punch holes and I stick them on so that they've got polka dots. Oh yeah, speaking of polka dots and stuff, I have to show you this one. If you weren't here on Sunday, this one turned out so cute. I'm looking for my frog. I did one of a frog, a tag with a stamped frog on it. And then I made bugs to put on it. They're kind of sticking up on the yarn. I put some fibers underneath. And so I made little, what? Oh, it's in the water. Oh, well, that's going to be interesting because that's painty water, so it's muck water. We'll see what it does to it. Anyway, it's got yarn underneath the frog, and I put bugs, made bugs. The wing of this bug is now off. I may have to fix that. Anyway, I made bugs. We'll put that to the side to dry. I had fun, much to some people's dismay, I'm sure. I'm just making a mess of these things now. We're just going to take them and put them in that bin. Okay, back to... Oh, Kim and her squirrels. There's another button done. Yeah, I was having fun. It was a lot of fun doing those, actually. Except I had so much glue on my fingers. It was so hard to maneuver the small bits like that. Oh my goodness. So I could do and have like dangly bugs. I might do that on strands from buttons. But I've put sequins on and some beads, that kind of thing. It's just fun. Okay, so this doesn't really have much green left on it, just a little bit. I'm going to pull that and I'm going to run it through the crayon. I remember that song. My kids used to sing that song all the time. That's one Fiona would like, Jan. So all I did was I took a piece of crayon, held it down with my thumb, and ran the thread over it a few times. And it does. It gives you a nice colored thread. It's kind of ugly over the little bit of green that's there, but so you see how nice and pink that is now? So if you go to a thrift store and you see this plain crochet cotton, either white or ecru like this, grab it. Grab some old crayons, and every time you need to do some hand stitching in a journal, down a page, on a tag, you could color match it. Just like that. Just like that. Awesome. Yeah, when my grands were younger, about her age, I would get them to help me wash dishes. I would put them in one side of the sink. I'd strip them down to their diaper and put them in that side of the sink with no water in it. And then, yeah, and then give them a dishcloth so they could lean over the into the other sink to wash dishes. It was great. She would probably love to do that too, Jen. Help with dishes. Okay, so I'm going to use this on the pink button. And whoops, as I say, if you find a ball of that in the thrift store, package of crayons, that's going to last you an awfully long time. And reasonable price too, because I don't know if your thrift store is anything like ours out here. There's always crayons available. Always crayons available. Not so often the crochet cotton, especially if you don't crochet, or if you get gifted some of this stuff and you don't crochet. Or even if you do crochet, I'm not sure that it would be waterproof. That, you know, with the wax dye on it, I'm not sure it would be waterproof. You would have to test that. That's always a fun thing to do too, Barbara. Definitely. Had a friend who, when it was really ugly and snowy out, and she didn't want to be outside with her kids, she would bring buckets of snow into the house and put them in the bathtub and put her like the kids' snow clothes on and dump them in the tub with the snow. And even though the snow clothes got really wet, she could just throw them in the dryer because it was clean snow. But that saved her from having to go out in the cold. And, it was still fun to play in the tub with lots of snow. One thing I always wanted to do when Ron was getting up at 4 in the morning for work I wanted to build a snowman in the shower so that he could have company there one morning, but I never did. Yep. So I think I've got enough to do this one button here with this pink stuff. So it's kind of nice getting some things like this done. I appreciate you guys being here and putting up with me. Yeah, that's also another fun one. Oh, again, I didn't leave much of a tail. Let's pull that. Pull that a little bit longer. It would be fun to watch him melt in there. I just kind of thought maybe it would give Ron a start to his day with a smile or something. He probably would have bellowed and woke the rest of the house up. But that's okay too. Okay, so let's make some more blue thread to go on this. And this one, I think I'll just use this beige that I've got here. I miss having little kids around. Could have so much fun with them. And I did have lots of fun with my grandkids when they were little. I have fun with them now, but when they were little, it was all an experience, right? Oh, I'm so bad at threading needles now. Goodness. This one I'm going to do the way that I've done the others that I've got. I'm going to do the stitching but have it on top so that I can do a knot. See, again, if you want big buttons in your journals and you can't afford big buttons, make them out of paper. You can have a lot of fun. These could be great bases, ouch, for journals, uh, clusters, have a nice button cluster. Lots of fun. So much fun. See, this one I did the knot on top, so I've got long strands that I can put beads on if I want, little polka dots. Okay, I'm going to make some of that beige into blue. Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what I want with these yet or what they're going to be used for. They're just going into the stash. And if you run out of crayon, if you lop a piece off because you go through it so many times, just throw them in a bin and you can melt them carefully and put them in a cardboard egg carton with some dryer lint, some paper shreds, that kind of thing. They make great fire starters. Definitely, Barbara. I agree that 100%. 100%. Okay, so I've got buttons and I got those little pocket things. What else should I make? I really have to use some of this scrap paper. Oh, thanks. Thank you, thank you. Uh-oh, where did you come from? What did you do? You went around and you shouldn't have. I have to start again because I went around the button and through the hole. So I have to pull it back. There we go. There we go. So the blue doesn't show up very great on the blue. Oh, thanks, Angela. Hi, welcome. Just making some paper buttons. Showed that if you have this colored crochet cotton or white, all you need is a box of crayons. You break a piece off and run it along the crayon like you would if you were waxing thread to bind a journal, and it colors it. I'm not sure that it's permanent color. For my journals, I'm not overly concerned because it's a paper journal. It shouldn't be getting wet. Love the picture of the deer in your yard. We don't get to see wildlife much here anymore. We've had a couple of raccoons, um, but we have a street behind us. Well, it's been there for quite a few years. But before there was a street behind us, we would see fox and all kinds of little beasties running around. It was lovely. Okay, so I've got some buttons to add to the collection. Every little bit helps, right? I could obviously make more. I'm trying not to bore you guys too much. Oh, oops. So let's add this to the button bin. Oh, I've got a yellow cat. Wait, I've got to pull this page tab out. Add it to the yellow for Friday. Sorry, sidetracked. You know how I am. Lots of squirrels in my world. See, I just have a few buttons left. This is all I've got. The paper buttons. It's just, a few little turquoisey ones. There's another one in there. So I needed a variety. Now I've got a bit more to choose from. Yeah, craft a lunch. Definitely. All right. No, that was my cutter. It fell off the bench under the table. We'll put it back where it belongs so it's out of the way. There we go. All right. So, if I was to grab a hunk of scrap paper, what would you like to see it turn into? That poor little bug's wing. I have to re-glue that on. I dipped this. Well, I didn't. I didn't mean to dip it into the paint water, really. It just jumped out of my hand and decided it needed to go into the paint water. Hey, Debbie, welcome. Nice to see you. Right. Exactly, Barbara. Exactly. I actually did have lunch at my table today. Put a little glue down. Use a lovely toothpick. Glue the swing back on. There we go. That's better. Put it back over here to finish drying. So, How about, oh, I know what I haven't done with you guys before. Let's do some petaled flowers. Not my wobble cut flowers, petal flowers. Because I've got this hunk of Kimbits. Like I say, on my group page, my group in Facebook, Meet Your Creativity, in the files, there's a whole bunch of pages like this that you can print out and use as long as, you know, you can use it in whatever. Just don't give the file away to somebody. Have them actually come to the page and get it. Let's use up the blue. And I know this isn't as nice as using magazine paper because it's not glossy, but it's still fun. So I'm just cutting the white off just because I don't want white tips when I'm making stuff. Phone, okay. Hello, phone. So I'm going to fold this into 8, right? Fold and fold and fold and fold. And I'm going to cut a petal shape, which is like my leaf shape, but in blue, so it's going to be a petal. Petal shapes. And we're going to cut flat off the bottom because there could be a fold there, and I don't remember how I folded it, but we're just going to do that to be safe. Yes, I threw out the bits. So now I've got 8 petals, 8 blue petals. So what I do is I take a little circle of white, whatever you've got. If you've got another kind of scrap paper on your desk, so be it. Yeah, folding and cutting scrap papers. You never would have thought you'd have seen that on my channel, did ya? Surprise! So I'm going to put glue on this circle. We're going to put petals on. We're just putting these petals around on the center there. So I've got 4 petals down. Right. For some reason, they want to go together in the center. I don't want them quite together in the center. I like leaving just a little gap in the center. So now I'm going to put some more glue down because these other 4 are going to go on top, but between. A little bit more glue. And I know lots of people make flowers this way. I haven't done it for a while. I'm not sure why I haven't, because I do like them. And then we're going to take look what I've got. Hole punch holes. Bet you didn't know I had that either. And I'm going to take a pink one, put some glue on it, and stick it in the middle. And I know you guys know how to make these flowers because they're common. Now I have a flower that's ready to decorate, a little bit of coloring. Oh, well, I hope she's getting better. Hope they figure it out. So a lot of times when I've got flowers like this, when I put them on a card or something, I only put half on. I cut it and I put half on. So I've only got half a flower. Then I'll take the other half a flower and cut it into quarters, and I can put them on the corners. Does that make sense to you? I have to wait for this glue to dry just a little bit, and I will show you what I mean. These are just old business cards. I put painty papers on. I'm just using them as tucks in journals, kind of decorating them as, you know, when I've got leftover bits on the desk. I'm just been adding. I do have a whole bunch made and put away already. I put them in my bin of ready for stuffing. I have a bin called ready to stuff, so I can take whatever's in there and just add it to whatever journal. Okay, so there's one like that. Then let's take another piece of this. Let's take this pink stuff here. Take care, Barbara. Nice to see you. I hope I inspired you to play. You guys know I just like making little bits of things and I hoard them. I don't use them, I just hoard them. Oh, that's sad, Jan. I hope he gets better too. Take care, Barbara. Oh, just a heads up, Friday, we're on Jean's channel, not my channel. I did put her channel address in the description box. Okay, so now this one, I'm just going to fold it in 4. And I'm going to cut a different shape petal. So I'm going from the corner this time. And I'm going up from the corner. Almost like a heart shape. Not quite. And back down to the corner. So I've got 4 petals that look like that. Now I'm going to take another little circle of white. Look, there happens to be one, almost a circle cut out right here. You can use squares. You don't have to do circles. Take care, Janet. Don't forget to let me know when you're in Manitoba. I'm going to add glue to the base. This is the base. You can glue these right down on a page. I always find it easier doing it this way. And then gluing it down onto the page. Now I need a center. Oh, look, there's a piece of green. I must have been cutting that out of something. Do we want a green center on this flower? It's nice and big. It covers that one that's there. Yeah. Let's use this glue. Well, thanks for coming, Shaz. Glad to see you. Sweet dreams. And we're going to just put that down in the center. And we've got another flower. So I'm thinking this one's reasonably dry by now, or it should be. So I'm going to go right through the center of this petal, through the center, the middle, and through that petal. And let's just grab, let's use this green one. This green one's interesting. I'm going to glue it down just on the edge here. And of course, I will doodle on them. I will come in with pencil crayons and add some shading. You know how that works. It doesn't have to be just this flat blue. This is just a base, right? This is just a Kimbit. And I'm just going to glue it on the edge right here, just like that. Hey, Anne, welcome. Hey, no problem. Not a problem at all. I'm just trying to use up scraps. Take care, Debbie. Thanks for coming. So now I've got ones that I can put in the corners. So I cut the flower in half. Now I've got the other half. I cut it so that it's in quarters. And these I just like to add in the corners. Just the corners. And this one can go in this bottom corner. Take care, Debbie. Hope everything starts going better. So from one flower, you could do 2 cards, you could do 3 cards that match, you could do 4 cards that match. Just cut it into quarters, and I think that's really cute, personally. And of course, I will outline them. I will add some shading. They're not the focal point. I'll still put a focal point and a word on that. Hey, Cal, welcome, welcome. Poke right back at ya. So that's what I would do if I did one with lots of petals. So I've got this one with 4 petals. I'm just going to make a bunch of various little flowers and add them to some of these cards. Like I say, I've got this sheet from the Kimbits. I'm just using up because I've got so much. I have to start definitely. So if you did print off the Kimbits that I posted, or if you want to print off the Kimbits, like I say, they are on my page. They're free. You can just download them, print them, and use them for whatever you like. I'm making some flowers today. So I just fold it up into little bits, and I cut out a petal shape. Barbara's gone. She had to leave. She was doing something. Said she was heading to the salt mines. Not sure what that exactly means, but so again, just cut out like a petal shape, fold it up, cut out a petal shape, get a little scrap, cut out sort of like a circle shape. Put some glue on it and put the petals down. These are pretty bland looking petals. But it's okay. Like I say, you can come back, you can color on them, you could add whatever you like. You could come back and put some glitter glue on them. You could do whatever you like. I was just showing the ladies, Kel, that the balls of crochet cotton. I had one in a crew, just that beige, off white, that people like those non-colored doilies or whatever, right? Just that beige. You know what I'm talking about. And I ran it through a crayon and it turned it blue. So you know how people say to wax your thread if you've got, Anne told me, wax the thread because I have a problem with it knotting when I'm sewing. But of course, they talk about beeswax. I do have a chunk of beeswax too, but I tried different kinds of waxes. I wanted to see what worked, what I could use. So I tried a crayon and it dyed it. It dyed it a lovely blue. And I dyed some in the pink. So if people are tight on funds and they want different threads for doing stitching in their journals, get a ball of that crochet cotton. Get like you can usually get it at the thrift store, or I can get it at the thrift store here. Get the crochet cotton. You can still crochet with it too when it's that. I just don't know that it's color fast. Um, get a package of crayons from the thrift store and just run it through the crayons. Like you can see, I've got where I've run the thread through. So I've done pink, I've done blue. You can do whatever colors. Cheap. And that way you know, and one ball of that stuff goes a long way. Oh, come on, focus. So I found a pattern on Pinterest that I want to try. It's for crochet dolls using crochet cotton or crocheted ladies. Okay, let's see if I can get that to focus. Sorry. Gluey fingers. Come on, focus, focus. Here we go. I'm not yelling at you, Anne. We had this discussion. So anyway, if you're doing some stitching in a journal or on tags or whatever, if you have that stuff in a box of crayons, you can match. You can match whatever you like. Okay, so that's another flower. Let's have my toothpick, glue. What color dot do we want here? Let's use red. So as I say, I am just making some paper flowers. I didn't push down the glue. I'm all about trying to save money, right? Because I've got so much stuff. If I can't make use of what I've got and adapt it to what I need, then there's something seriously wrong with my creative process personally. I can show you how it works. I have to show you because I know that, especially Kel, with all the crocheting and stuff that you've been doing lately, like your little seahorses and things. So this is the crochet cotton. It's just a regular ball cardboard thing of crochet cotton, right? So of course, if you were doing a big piece, I don't know how long you would need for doing a seahorse out of this. I'm just using it for stitching. So you just put it against your crayon and you hold it with your thumb. Yeah. But like I say, I don't know, and you have to do it more than once. Okay, so that's through the first time. Little bit of color. That's two. So it's like a variegated at this point. So as I say, I have not tested to see how color fast it is. But if you're using it just for stitching in journals or tags, and it's not hard. Like it's still really pliable. But look at the nice color. Let's put it on white. You can see it better against white. Look at that nice pink. So, if you are on a budget and you like doing stitching in your journals or on tags, this is I guess I could. I could do that if I was worried about it. But if it's in a journal and just on tags and stuff, I'm not overly concerned. But this way you can match whatever you're working on. Box of crayons, some crochet cotton. Magic. Just like magic, guys. Okay, so back to the flowers. So I did this one. I cut it in three, once in half and then 2/4. So it's got flowers on the corners and flowers on the sides. Of course, I could have taken the other piece and, 2 half flowers. Limited by your imagination, and I have a craft-a-latch. My goodness, that one was interesting. That's way over there. Way over there. I'm pointing, you guys can't see. But that's a good idea too, Anne. So if you're doing still doing the thing for PM Artist Studios, Frugal Ways, Frugal Fridays, you can definitely add that. Okay, yellow. I'm just going to cut 4 petals out of this. Okay. So again, this one, I am going to fold it and I'm going to go from the corner and cut bigger petals like these from the corner. Back to the corner. So they're not quite heart-shaped. And look, I am throwing that out. I'm trying to be very good. So this one has 4. Let's cut a little circle. I don't know. That is cardstock. I guess I could have used a piece of that for the circle. Okay, a little circle base. Sort of circle. Sort of circle. Not fussy. Sort of circle. Glue on the sort of circle. And we're going to put these petals down. As I say, these little bits are from what I printed off when I did the Kim bits. It's lots of glue. Sometimes when I do this and I push down on it, I have to come underneath it with... I don't understand why I have a fruit fly down here. Let's put a... Oh, there it is. There's my toothpick. Let's put some more glue down over here. Oh, things into the muck water, pages into the glue. I guess I really do need to do some cleaning here. Don't want bright yellow. I've got pink. I've got this. I've got red. I've got purple. I've got a black one. Let's use the black one. Be black on both sides? No. Yellow on one side, black on the other. Interesting. Interesting. Still joking that, here's me trying to use up my bits and I'm still using my hole punch holes. push it down with a toothpick. Take your towel so that you smush up the excess glue. Lift it up. Get off. Another cute little flower. Welcome back, Cal. So yeah, I'm just using bits, making paper flowers, putting them on, you know, not sure. Just playing. Just playing. Let's use up a painty paper. I've got this pink and blue and white painty paper. Cutting off the semi-rough edges. Yeah, it's nice to see you back, Kel. It's been a while. I know that you had the flu and other stuff happening. Yeah, that happens too. So again, from the corner, garbage, little circle. The reason I don't cut the little circles out first and have them sitting here is because they get lost. Glue on the little circle. Glue, glue, glue. Put the petals down. Yes, it does. It does. So this is kind of a plaid flower, but they're fun. One day I would like to be able just to cut a shape like that and not have to do it in petals like this. But it's okay. What color center should I do? I've got green. Let's do a green center. I haven't done a green center. Well, I did that. Anybody have exciting plans for the week? I am hiding from the smoke. Of course, if I had a brain, I would have outlined them with the black marker. But as it is, I will just go around with black. 92 cookies this morning. Excellent. I did not play in my kitchen today. Sunday I did. After I was here, I made a batch of tomato soup. Got some in the freezer. We had tomato soup for supper. I'm not getting enough to do like a big batch of relish or, like my cucumbers aren't ripening enough. They are the pits. I can't bake cookies. I just eat them. I'm trying to be good. Yeah, what kind of cookies? Maybe I'll do that when I'm off of here. I will make some cookie dough. UTIs are. Do you drink cranberry juice, Cal? Do you find that that helps? I always found that cranberry juice really helped me when I had a UTI. And I actually, one of the nurses I worked with takes cranberry pills, and she said that that has her really reduced her UTIs. Batch bake and freeze. I don't bake. I just batch and freeze because if I bake them, I'm eating them. Chocolate chip, applesauce, sugar. Those sound lovely. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, I do substitute applesauce quite often for oil, but I don't only use egg whites. But I buy those cartons of egg whites so I could do that. I've been cheating. Ron doesn't realize it, but when I make omelets and stuff now, I use egg whites and one egg. So it's still yellow, but I use more whites than I do, one yolk to four whites or whatever. So I think that these yellow flowers, I'm going to make a whole bunch. I'm going to use the yellow that I've got printed out here, and I'm going to use those in the yellow journal on Sunday. You have to have super low fat. Okay. With me, it's salt. I'm watching fats and sugars too, but definitely watching my salt intake. I buy it in the carton. You can get cartons of straight egg whites, Anne. Yeah, I don't put salt in anything. Well, of course, you have to have baking soda or baking powder in your cookies, but yeah, I get like the cartons from Costco. They come in a 4 pack. I buy those. Or if I don't make it to Costco, they just sell cartons of egg whites at uh, our local grocery store. Not a corner store; it's a grocery, you know, part of a chain, but still. I was actually talking to a friend. She's in Pittsburgh, and she had no idea that you can buy cartons of just whites. Like they come like in a quart, but they're not quarts. Pint, whatever. I don't think we do. I don't think we do. So I'm going to use these yellows up so that I've got yellow flowers for my. This is going to be such an eclectic rainbow journal, guys. I'm trying to have some things that flow right through, so I don't know. I just don't know. Trying not to use quite as much glue. Oh, I don't think we've got strange ingredients in ours. I'll have to look now that you've said that. I don't have any at the moment because I haven't been grocery shopping. And I did go to Costco last week, but I didn't remember to buy any. I was kind of trying to get just essentials, trying to watch my grocery bills. Yeah, that's not working. What color center? Maybe a bright yellow on this one? Yeah, mine too, Jan. I'm pretty sure. because I think that was a concern too, because I wanted to make sure there was no salt and stuff. Another flower. Of course, I will be doodling on them probably after I am off with you guys. It's when I seem to do more doodling so that I'm not boring you any more than I need to. I haven't made flowers like this for a while. I'm enjoying it. Thank you for having the patience to sit with me through this. Just makes me wish, though, that I had bigger pieces of the bits so that instead of just the 8 petals, I could have 12 or 16. Oh, really? That's brutal. That's crazy. Wow. That's nuts. No, I wouldn't be buying it if they had that kind of stuff in it. Yeah, Burn Bray in Manitoba. Yeah. Sandra used to work for them. To this day, she can't stand the smell of raw eggs, though. I mean, they're not cheap. Like I say, I use them much more often than the one thing I have noticed though with the uh, it doesn't make great egg salad. Just plain egg white doesn't make great egg salad. And I love egg salad. So I do break down and I make that every couple of months. Yeah, our tomatoes, canned tomatoes, it's just tomatoes as well. I don't even buy the ones with salt. And it's not from Italy. Ours is Aylmer, or even Hunt's. Like the Hunt's tomato paste, all it has is tomatoes and salt, but their salt is really low. And let's do a bright yellow on this one. No, let's do. Be nice to have an orange. There's an orange painter paper. We go through a lot of canned tomatoes here. It's very enlightening. My big thing is when I was working in the group homes and I was managing, I had one young gentleman who um, was on 32 different medications. So I was very particular about what we were feeding him because I had no idea if any of those ingredients would react bad with his meds. I just didn't want to cause any issues. My camera is just being silly about focusing lately. I watch for sugars and salts primarily. Ah, got these lovely stamped trees. You know what? I might turn these into a couple of journaling cards to add for Friday. I will put them on the paper cutter and cut them nice and square, add white to the back. Okay, Cal. That's like us making our own tomato soup. There's so much difference between, I'm just getting comfy. So much difference between bought tomato soup and homemade. I like the fact that I know what's going in it. It's so much more flavorful and I don't. Okay, we're not getting far here. Let's use envelope for petals. Maybe I'll be able to get 12 petals out of this. What do I do with the tags and ATCs I receive in swaps? I have a book I put them in. It's I've got those plastic sleeves that you can put trading cards in because it's the same size as ATCs. So I've got a binder with them in. Tags I will use. I'm making that heart journal like Janet Nash's, and I am hoping that I'm putting a lot of stuff that I get in that journal, if that makes sense. Exactly, John. It's nice to know, right? Although our outside rows now are like the deli, which isn't healthier necessarily, and the bakery. Definitely, definitely, Anne. See, a lot of the canned goods I only buy if it's on sale because I think the only canned goods I buy are mushroom soup because you use it in casseroles and things, and for some things you just have to have the mushroom soup. Tuna, tomato paste, canned tomatoes, and then canned beans. a wide variety of different canned beans. And the only reason I do that is because sometimes I just don't have time to pre cook the beans if I'm doing a soup or something. But I've got an instant pot and I do make my own baked beans because in the instant pot, from dry, I can have them ready to go in a sauce in 20 minutes of cooking time. Yeah, it takes time to come up to pressure, but I sure wish we could have chickens here. Not that Ron would be happy if we had chickens, but it'd be nice to have my own eggs, free range chickens for eating. The place I used to get free range chickens at, well, I was getting them from two different places. One of them went organic, so she can't sell off her yard anymore. And the other lady was murdered by her son. They are. And they've got the bright yellow yolks because they're eating bugs and all kinds of healthy things. Yeah, it floored us. I mean, I used to do farmers markets with her and things. Just an absolutely lovely, lovely lady. What color? What color? What color? Centers. See, I'm even trying to use up my hole punches. Yeah, murders don't often happen here. Like, it's, but he definitely had mental health issues because he went and he worked at a local hospital actually and went to the hospital and I believe shot one of his coworkers. Then he went to his dad's place and he shot his dad. Then he went to his mom's place and shot her. Very weird. Let's do red. She's the lady that taught me how to make granola. Yeah, I was trying to convince a friend of mine here to get chickens because I would love to have free range chickens again, but she didn't want to. I don't blame her. It's a lot of work. Oh, speaking of my girlfriend and produce and growing things, the lady that got the 89 pounds of potatoes is dry canning them. I don't know what that means. We didn't get into it. I'm going to be playing with her tomorrow afternoon. We're going to do a craft and chat. And so I'll find out more. But she said that she's dry canning them, which really interested me because I do have a pressure canner, I have a regular canner, but if that's the case, I can still get potatoes for uh, a 50-pound bag from one of the groceries in Winnipeg. So I was thinking maybe if I got a 50-pound bag of potatoes, I could dry can some as well. Because I'm finding that potatoes and onions just aren't lasting anymore. They're sprouting, they're going bad, they're I'm just not having much luck. So when I buy a big bag of onions now, I chop it up and freeze it. I freeze darn near everything, so yeah. Oh, somebody's at my door. Ron! Oh, he's not in the house. If you guys want to hang on a sec, I just need to see who's actually knocking on my door. I'll be right back. Sorry. Sorry, guys, it was a ghost. It would be nice if it was 50 pounds of potatoes at the door. My daughter's actually dating a gentleman who has chickens. But I have not seen any of these said chickens. Dry canning is not adding water to the jar. I kind of thought that. But it's still pressure canning? Okay. So I know that he must have a nice sized yard, garden, whatever, because he was dropping sweet corn off for her the other day. And she said something about making chicken broth from his chicken carcasses. So it's pressure canning. Okay. Do you still have to add salt or anything, Teresa? Because that wouldn't help me very much if I still had to add salt. You prefer to wet can them? But then you still have to have the salt and stuff in there, correct? Ah, glue side down. No, no glue side down. Get off my fingers. Oh, chicken or beef broth. That would be lovely. Chicken broth. You don't add salt? Okay. You know what? I like this. Oh, wrong way round. Kind of like this with just 3 petals. I'm going to leave that with 3 petals. Do you make your own chicken broth or do you buy chicken broth? And do you buy chicken broth with or without salt? Just pack the jars. Do they cut them? Because I can't imagine it packing really nice and tight, like 89 pounds of potatoes. Maybe you could get 3 potatoes in a jar if they're a decent size. You make yours? Yeah. Me too. When I've got stuff to make it with. Like I say, with the Instant Pot, I do my own broth. If they've got chicken legs or thighs or whatever on sale, I will buy them. Or a lot of times we get legs with the back attached. So I use those. I just put them It is a lot. I just throw those in the instant pot and cook them up to make broth. Okay, this one's dry now. Here's my little frog and bugs. Can go over here in this container, away from the muck water. You use your cooker, roaster oven? Okay. My mother in law used to use her pressure cooker an awful lot. So that's, with the instant pot, I'm really finding it makes my life a lot easier. I can make a big batch of something in so much less time. Like I say, I make a lot of like my own baked beans, chilies, that kind of thing. And I like the fact that it takes such a short period of time and it still has the flavor. I might have to leave the lid off and let it cook for a little bit so that um, it thickens a bit more. But I really like the Instant Pot. Oh, I'm sure. I do both, Teresa. Sometimes I'll use a barbecue sauce. Um, a lot of times I'll just do it with canned tomatoes and chilies and bacon. Yeah. If I do a whole chicken, I will roast a whole chicken. And then, I keep a few carcasses and do that because I can hammer them down. I use bacon. Um, Sometimes I don't use any meat. Again, it depends, how salty the bacon is. I don't make my own bacon. I haven't had much luck smoking my own bacon. Probably because, I've brined it and everything to smoke it, but we don't have a true smoker. We've got like a Komodo barbecue that we use. It's a charcoal barbecue. You need a recipe for baked beans? I can send you a recipe for baked beans. Add onions and chilies and tomatoes and brown sugar. You can add molasses if you like. I don't like molasses because my mother was British and I don't like molasses. um, so I use brown sugar or honey or a combination. Um, if I want smokier flavor, if I'm not using meat, I will put in smoked paprika. But yeah, I can send you a recipe. I don't use liquid smoke. I could. I had a daughter that was allergic to meat for a while. And so I learned to use I for stuff that I was cooking for her, I would use smoked salt. But if I'm making pea soup or whatever, and I don't want to use the salt like the ham or whatever, I will use smoked paprika. I have done it with smoked chicken too because we do smoke our own chicken. No. Okay, I will send you a recipe. Nice. Yeah, garlic, onion, sugar. Yeah, smoked ham. I will use bacon. You chop with bacon? Okay. We can get bacon end bags of bacon ends, so they're really strongly smoked and they're thick. It's almost like a ham, more like a bacon than a strip bacon. Oh yeah, white beans, for sure. Yeah, no, molasses, no, don't like it. I don't. No. Sorry. Yeah, my mom would do the same kind of thing. But I mean, that's what they grew up with, right? Because it was during the war. So they had molasses. They didn't have sugar necessarily. I'm just reaching to the left of me and grabbing smaller bits of painted paper that I'm doing these flowers out of. Oh, that's cardstock. Don't want that. Just trying to use up some of this stuff. It does. See, I don't normally use these kinds of flowers in my journals, and I don't know why. Right. I probably could put some molasses in my baked beans. I just don't. Just like I don't put molasses in my gingerbread, I use honey. Oh, lovely. Well, I'm having fun. And you know how we did the shading and stuff on the ones that I wobble cut? I do the same kind of things with these. Or you know how they do all those doodlings on flowers and stuff now? They do the paint and then they do the. I took a course about that week long workshop thing on flowers. I don't know. I'm sure I showed you guys, but I'm thinking I want to do something like that on these. I find it. Uh, I've got it in here someplace. It's my art journal. This is the one that I use when I do a lot of the prompt alongs with people. Wow, see, I'm just all over the place. My squirrel is in great form today, guys. There. Oh, that was glue that fell. Like this. So you put the paint down and then you doodle on it. So I think that's what I want to do with these flowers. I'm going to doodle on them and make them really interesting because they're cute, but I think they're really plain, which is okay. Thanks. I had a lot of fun doing that. I really did. Back to this squirrel. I don't know. Maybe, Anne. I found an enchilada sauce that I really like. Raw enchilada sauce to my eggs. Yeah, I'm going to doodle these up and I am going to do some fun cards. I'm going to use these cards and I'm going to do some fun cards. Found out that I make this hash brown casserole. When I first got the recipe, they were called Texas taters. I think that a lot of you guys call them funeral potatoes. It's like the hash browns and it's got onions and mushroom soup and cheese. I don't know. Anyway, for the longest time Ron really didn't like those, but he's finally decided that he likes them. When I do family brunches, I make a big pan of that on the side. All the grandkids love them. They ask for them often. So Ron now likes them. So the last time I made a double batch because I had quite a few grandkids coming over. And it stretches a meal, right? No, these are old business cards that I covered with painty papers. They're smaller than ATCs. I'll show you the difference in size. This is an ATC size, 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. This is a business card. So it's half an inch short. So I made a double batch, and just for the heck of it, I made one of those little foil containers that you can make things and freeze in. So yesterday for supper, I was pulling one out, and he reads the lid. He goes, "Hater taters? What the heck are hater taters?" I said, "Those are the potatoes you don't like." He goes, "Well, I like them now." I said, "Well, you never used to." So anyway, I'm now calling them hater taters, much to his chagrin. It must be really hard living with me. This is a very full flower. I bet you it's probably would be easier to doodle them before I put them together. The business card could be a pocket on an ATC. So I have this purple orange, I'm not sure what. It needs a center. I think I'll use the red. No, I think it needs a different colored center. I like the idea of the red. I'm going to go for the bright yellow. So again, I know this is a long, kind of tedious process, but it's yours, right? You do what makes you happy and comfortable and make it your own. Make them your own. So this one definitely would look really cute if I cut it and did it in various places. I've got leftover petals from that. I will use those probably as leaves because they're nice leaf shaped on my little. All right. Well, it has almost been 2.5 hours. I appreciate you guys for being here. I will send you that um, recipe, and I still have to send Sherry some stuff. I'm bad lately. Things that take me more than 2 minutes, you know. Been falling down on the job, guys. Falling down on the job. Well, thanks, Anne. I try to have fun. I try and inspire you guys. I just show you what I do, and I hope you definitely take it and run with it your way. And as I say, I love to see what you guys are creating. If you throw it on my page. Well, thanks, Teresa. I appreciate you guys for being here. Anybody who watches the replay, thank you. Anybody who's up in the balcony, thank you. And yeah. So remember, Friday, we're going to be on Jean's channel. As I say, her address is in the description box below. We'll be working on the yellow journal section signature. And I'm going to doodle on flowers. And Ron finally drilled holes in my rude book, so I'll be putting that together in the next day or so. That's all. Thanks, guys. Take care, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hugs to everybody. Bye for now.